beyond the nutritional labels and the expiration dates, there's this whole dynamic, unseen battle. It's fought every single day to make sure the food we eat is safe, it's wholesome, and, well, exactly what it claims to be.
Absolutely.
But who are these guardians? The ones wielding that sort of invisible shield? And what incredible work do they actually do to protect our plates? Today, we're unlocking the often unseen but totally crucial world of the food inspector.
Right.
We've been really diving deep into a fascinating career guide that outlines the role, the eligibility, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and alongside a pretty comprehensive list of leading institutions in food science and technology.
Right, and to give this deep dive a specific focus, our source material really zeroes in on the burgeoning food industry in India.
And our mission, really, for you today is to give you a genuinely comprehensive understanding of what a food inspector actually does. We want to uncover the specific skills, the educational qualifications needed, and maybe, most importantly, illuminate the profound and sometimes surprising impact they have on public health. We're trying to connect all the dots here from our source material to reveal a role that genuinely touches every single one of us, every time we eat.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
At its core, when we talk about a food inspector, what is their fundamental purpose? Is it just, checking labels? Or is it something much deeper?
Oh, it's far more profound than just labels. At its heart, a food inspector is a highly trained official. They're responsible for meticulously analyzing the safety and quality of food products, really throughout their entire journey,
Right.
from farm to fork.
Not just the end product.
Exactly. It goes way beyond the final product you see on the shelf. They scrutinize the integrity of the ingredients used, the hygienic conditions of the equipment, and the overall sanitation of the facilities where food is manufactured and processed. Their active monitoring of, say, food distributors, processors, manufacturers, it's a critical frontline defense. It aims to prevent any safety or sanitation violations that could lead to contamination, things like adulterants or harmful bacteria.
So it's not just what's in the box, but crucially how it got there.
Right.
And the whole environment it came from. Wow. You mentioned adulterants. That's a term I think many of us hear but might not fully grasp. Could you elaborate a bit? What does adulteration actually mean in this context?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key concept. Adulteration basically refers to any time the quality of food is lowered. That could be by adding inferior substances or removing valuable ingredients or simply by misrepresenting what it is. And it's not just about accidental contamination with bacteria, though that's definitely a major concern too. Adulteration can be economically motivated. Think about diluting milk with water perhaps, or adding cheaper starches to sauces without saying so.
Right, to cut costs.
Exactly. Or it could involve more, insidious issues, like that alarming historical case of melamine being added to milk products to falsely boost protein readings that had severe health consequences.
I remember that. Scary stuff.
It really is. So food inspectors are constantly on the lookout for all these kinds of manipulation and contamination. They're ensuring what you buy is genuinely what it claims to be, and crucially, that it's safe.
I could definitely see how critical that proactive monitoring and vigilant detection of adulteration is. It's almost like they're detectives, isn't it? What's the toughest part of that preemptive work for them? It sounds like it truly safeguards public health.
It genuinely does. And I think the most challenging aspect of that preemptive work is probably the sheer breadth and the constant evolution of the food industry itself. You've got new processing methods, new ingredients popping up all the time, increasingly complex global supply chains. It means inspectors have to stay perpetually updated. They need to anticipate new threats and ensure compliance across this vast dynamic landscape.
Keeps them on their toes.
Absolutely. Without their vigilance, the risk of widespread foodborne illnesses or exposure to harmful contaminants, or even just consuming products that don't meet basic quality standards, well, it would skyrocket. Their work is this fundamental, non-negotiable layer of protection for public health, operating largely out of sight, but completely indispensable.
That makes perfect sense. Indispensable, but unseen. So if someone feels a calling to this critical role, what's the first step? Let's talk about the essential educational foundation needed, to become one of these crucial guardians of our food supply, especially focusing on that Indian context from our sources.
Okay. Well, the fundamental requirement, eligibility-wise, for a food inspector role is a bachelor's degree. And interestingly, it's in any stream.
Any stream. Really, that's quite broad.
It is, isn't it? It might surprise some listeners. However, Our source material clearly highlights that having a bachelor's degree in related subjects, things like biology, mathematics, physics, or agricultural sciences, provides a significant added advantage.
Right, that makes sense.
These fields just naturally align better with the scientific understanding and the analytical rigor needed for getting your head around food chemistry, microbiology, processing techniques, that kind of thing.
A bachelor's degree in any stream. That still seems surprisingly broad for such a technical role.
Oh.
Does that ever pose a challenge, in terms of maybe foundational scientific knowledge? Or is the on-the-job training robust enough to bridge any gaps?
That's a really excellent question, and it does highlight a nuance. While yes, a degree in any stream technically grants eligibility, the specialized knowledge really starts to build with the specific food inspector exams and then the subsequent training.
Ah,
Those with a scientific background, they often find the technical aspects, like understanding microbial growth or chemical interactions, maybe a bit more intuitive. However, the comprehensive training programs run by the government bodies, they're designed to equip all eligible candidates, regardless of their initial degree, with the necessary scientific and regulatory expertise. So it probably means the desire to learn and apply complex scientific principles is perhaps more crucial than the specific degree discipline itself.
got it. So moving beyond the academics, what kind of person truly thrives in this demanding profession? This is where it gets really interesting, I think, because it's clearly not just about book smarts. What unique skills, what personal attributes are required to excel, especially considering the diverse and sometimes challenging environments they might face.
You've hit on a critical point there. Beyond just the intellect, food inspectors really need a unique blend of physical and sensory capabilities. First off, they need to be in good physical health
Right.
because they're often perform demanding tasks out in the field. This isn't always a desk job, you know?
Lots of standing, walking, maybe climbing.
Could be, yeah. Then there are the acute sensory skills. Not just good vision, but critically, the ability to distinguish colors and smells accurately.
Smells, really.
Oh, yes. While labs provide the definitive data, that immediate on-site assessment by a human inspector, especially using their senses, acts as the first crucial filter. An inspector's nose can often detect early signs of spoilage or chemical contamination that might not even register on basic field tests yet.
Wow.
Or they might catch something before it escalates to a point where it needs a lab test. It's truly a blend of, well, almost ancient sensory wisdom and modern science.
Wow. So it's not just science. It's being almost an intuitive detective with incredibly sharp senses. That is fascinating.
Sure.
But what about the mental side, the fortitude? You mentioned challenging environments.
Exactly. And that brings us to mental fortitude. A crucial aspect is simply the willingness to work in environments that are, let's say, far from pristine.
Okay.
Imagine meat packing plants, for instance. They can have potentially hazardous conditions, sometimes unsanitary, and often emotionally taxing conditions, too.
I can imagine.
This isn't just a clinical inspection from afar. It requires real resilience and an unwavering commitment to public safety, even when you're facing demanding or, frankly, unpleasant circumstances. It's definitely not always a clean office job. It demands a strong constitution and a very keen sense of purpose.
Right. So given these demanding hands-on skills and the comprehensive education, it begs the question, what does a food inspector's day-to-day actually involve? Let's peel back the layers. What does a typical day in the life look like for these essential professionals?
Well, their daily tasks are incredibly varied and often unpredictable, really, reflecting just how vast the food industry is. Their primary responsibility, though, involves meticulously inspecting and monitoring food processing plants.
Okay.
And this isn't just a quick walkthrough. It involves checking everything from the hygienic condition of the production lines, are surfaces properly sanitized? Are pest control measures actually working? To verifying that raw materials are stored correctly and that the final products stick to strict legal standards. That covers composition, permissible levels of additives, freedom from contaminants.
A lot to check.
Oh, yeah. For instance, they might meticulously check temperature logs in cold storage units or scrutinize allergen labeling for accuracy. Tiny details matter hugely.
And it's not just about processing plants, is it? I mean, what other areas do they cover?
Not at all. Their vigilance extends right to the very beginning of the supply chain. They frequently inspect the quality of food grains like wheat or rice before these are sold on the open market, or procured by government agencies for distribution programs.
Right, for things like public distribution systems.
Exactly. This ensures that the staples reaching millions of homes are free from pests, moisture damage, or other kinds of spoilage. In a country like India, with its huge agricultural sector, this is an immense and absolutely crucial undertaking.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And thinking about how globalized our food supply is becoming,
Yeah.
what role do they play in monitoring imported goods?
That's another critical area. In our increasingly interconnected world, food inspectors are vital gatekeepers. They're there at ports and entry points. They examine food imports for things like mislabeling, undeclared ingredients, maybe unauthorized additives, or any other food safety issues that could pop up from international trade.
That must be complex.
Immensely. Imagine the complexity of inspecting incoming shipments of food and ingredients from all these diverse global sources. Each one needs to comply not only with international best practices, but also with India's specific food safety requirements, customer standards, regulatory rules, industry standards.
Wow.
It requires a really in-depth understanding of a multitude of regulations. And ultimately, if they detect any kind of violation or non-compliance during any of these inspections, plant, grain, import, photo. Food inspectors are responsible for reporting these findings to the appropriate regulatory agency.
Got it.
Always with that overarching goal, ensuring all food products entering the market are suitable and, above all, safe for human consumption.
That's an incredibly broad and vital range of responsibilities. Seriously, from ensuring grain quality way back in the field, to scrutinizing hygiene in plants, and even safeguarding our borders from problematic imports, it covers so much ground. What truly stands out to you as the most surprising or maybe the most overlooked aspect of their daily work? For me, it's that sheer global reach you just described.
That's a good question. For me, what's truly remarkable is the proactive impact of their work. The stuff that often goes unnoticed precisely because they are so effective.
What do you mean?
Well, we rarely hear about the foodborne illness outbreaks that don't happen, right? Or the contaminated batches that never reach the shelves because they were caught, or the harmful products that get intercepted at the ports.
I see. The problem's prevented.
Exactly. Their daily grind of meticulous inspections, scientific analysis, regulatory enforcement. It forms this unseen shield that prevents countless potential public health crises. It's a silent victory happening every single day. It reminds us that their job isn't just reacting to problems, but actively stopping them from ever occurring in the first place.
That's a powerful way to frame it. The silent victories that we as consumers benefit from daily without even realizing. Okay, so once an individual has that bachelor's degree and they've cultivated these unique skills and attributes, what's the formal process? How do you actually become certified and step into this demanding profession?
Right. So after completing their 3 or 4 year bachelor's degree, candidates become eligible to take the food inspector exam.
An exam, okay.
Yes, and these are typically highly competitive examinations. They're conducted by various state and central government bodies across India. For example, the Punjab Food Inspector Test is one such exam that opens doors into the state government's food safety departments. Passing these exams is really the primary gateway into a career as a government food inspector.
That's the main governmental route then. Are there alternative paths for those who might not be focused specifically on government service?
Yes, absolutely. While government roles are certainly prominent, our sources also point out that for those maybe not inclined towards public service, there are actually increasing vacancies in the private sector too.
Oh, interesting. Like where?
Well, various food processing units, large-scale granaries, even quality control departments within major food corporations, they're constantly seeking qualified individuals to ensure their own products meet internal standards and those external regulations.
Makes sense.
So this offers alternative routes into the profession, allowing for different career trajectories depending on what someone prefers.
Okay. So what does this all mean for the future of this career in India? What are the career prospects looking like for aspiring food inspectors, especially given the current landscape and this evolving food industry we've talked about?
The career prospects are, frankly, exceptionally strong. And they seem to be on a significant upward trajectory, particularly in a country like India. There's just an ever-increasing need for food inspectors.
Why is that surge happening now?
Well, it isn't just about population growth, though that's part of it. It's driven by several powerful factors coming together. You've got the rapid industrialization of food production, the explosion of new food technologies, the increasing complexity of those global supply chains bringing in diverse ingredients, and perhaps most importantly, heightened consumer awareness and increasingly stringent governmental regulations designed to protect public health. People care more, and the rules are getting tougher.
Right.
All these factors combined just demand a more robust, more highly skilled, and frankly, a larger force of inspectors.
That's a really clear explanation of the demand drivers. So while most opportunities have traditionally been in government, is that balance shifting at all?
It is indeed. While, yes, most traditional vacancies have been in the government sector, the overall requirement is growing exponentially, really, across the board. Government agencies need to inspect not only public sector operations, but also oversee this vast network of privately owned food processing plants, restaurants, distributors.
Right, ensuring everyone meets the standard.
Exactly, ensuring quality as per the law. So this expansion of regulatory oversight naturally creates more government roles. But simultaneously, the private sector is also scaling up its internal quality assurance teams. They need to meet these tougher regulations and rising consumer expectations.
So it creates opportunities on both sides.
Precisely. It creates this kind of dual opportunity path for aspiring food inspectors. More government jobs and more private sector jobs, too.
That growing demand and the dual sector opportunities certainly make it sound like an attractive field, especially for those passionate about public health and science. Now, we mentioned the bachelor's degree as the entry point, with science fields offering an edge. Are there specific places in India that provide a really strong foundation, maybe specialized degrees that give someone a distinct advantage?
Yes, absolutely. While, as we said, specific food inspector degrees are rare, a really strong foundation in food science and technology is incredibly beneficial.
Okay, food science and tech.
Yeah. These specialized programs really immerse students in food chemistry, microbiology, processing engineering, quality assurance protocols, basically providing the deep technical knowledge that's required. And our sources do highlight several top institutions in India that are renowned for providing this kind of specialized education. They're effectively preparing graduates for these roles in food safety.
Can you name a few of those institutions for our listeners who might be considering this path?
Certainly. And these aren't just names on a list. These places are often at the forefront of food science research and innovation. They're actively involved in developing new safety protocols, new analytical techniques.
Ah, good to know.
So some of the leading names that came up include the National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, that's NIFTEM, in Sonpat, Haryana.
Okay.
The Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, or IIFPT, in Thanjavur, Tamil Nadu. The Central Food Technological Research Institute, CFTRI, in Mysuru, Karnataka.
Got it.
Also, GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology in Patnagar, Uttarakhand, and Punjab Agricultural University in Ludhiana, Punjab. Their programs typically offer really good hands-on experience and cutting-edge research opportunities. They bridge that gap between theory and the practical demands of the field, which makes their graduates highly sought after.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how many diverse and specialized academic pathways there are. It's not just one single narrow route, is it?
Yeah.
It really prepares someone for this essential role in safeguarding our food supply.
It absolutely does. It really underscores that the expertise needed comes from a sophisticated blend. It's scientific understanding, critical thinking, practical application, and just an unwavering commitment to public welfare, which these institutions are exceptionally well equipped to provide.
Yep.
They're not just teaching facts, they're genuinely cultivating the next generation of food safety leaders.
So on this deep dive, we've truly peeled back the layers of this crucial, yet, as we said, often overlooked profession. We've covered the critical definition of a food inspector, really diving into their core purpose, ensuring food safety, quality, going far beyond just surface checks.
Right.
We've explored that unique blend of education and skills needed, highlighting it's a mix of academics, yes, but also sharp senses and real personal resilience. We detailed their extensive job duties, from inspecting slaughterhouses and grain quality to rigorously analyzing complex international imports and proactively reporting violations. We also looked at the clear and growing career prospects in India, driven by this rapidly evolving industry.
Yeah, the demand is definitely there.
And finally, where someone might actually begin their educational journey in this vital field, It's just so clear this role is far more complex, more demanding, and utterly vital than many of us probably ever imagined. It impacts every single meal we consume.
It really does. And I think this deep dive highlights that ensuring the food we eat is suitable for human consumption. Well, it isn't a static task. It's certainly not a simple checkbox exercise.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing dynamic process. It has to continuously adapt to new food technologies, increasingly intricate global supply chains, emerging pathogens, shifting consumer demands, you name it.
Constant change.
Constant change. And this makes the vigilance, the scientific expertise, and the adaptability of a food inspector more critical now than perhaps ever before. It's truly a role that protects all of us every single day, often without us ever knowing the quiet heroes behind our safe plates.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you walk away with a newfound appreciation for the silent yet absolutely essential guardians of our food supply.